He thought as a young Jew, he jumped his fire over me, killed 3 young Palestinians. He would have killed me, but he thought I was a young guy from the kibbutz.
David Douglas Duncan was a renowned American photojournalist and one of the most influential photographers of the 20th century, famous for his intense combat photography as a U.S. Marine during World War II, and later on his work as a war photographer for Life magazine and his photo books. In Yankee Nomad, he gives the shocking backstory for photos he took for Life magazine in Palestine in 1946, when he met terrorist leader Menachem Begin, who unveiled a dark plan that's still unraveling the world as we speak. In the photos Duncan took on the luckiest day of his life, September 13, 1946, when Zionist terrorists were raiding multiple banks in Palestine, killing guardsmen and civilians. Duncan found himself in a bank heist shootout.
I was in Jaffa with the supposed press attaché of the British Embassy, Dick Stubbs. There was also CID for sure. It was about noontime. Heard a terrific explosion, and the Irgun had just blown the Ottoman Bank in Jaffa. We went down the street. I'd been with the Qashqai tribes before I was in Palestine. I was brown, mahogany brown, like the Chandelier, brown. So I looked like a young guy from the kibbutz. I was in Marine Corps shirt, Marine Corps pants, my Rotaflex, went into the street. And I looked up the street, I saw an old Chevrolet in the center photograph. In the back seat, a machine gun Sten gunner in the back seat. He thought as a young Jew, he jumped his fire over me. Expert machine gun, killed the guy on the left, the guy on the right, another guy in the street. Killed 3 young Palestinians. He would have killed me, but he thought I was a young guy from the kibbutz. Wait just a second. I sent a telegram back to New York. I've been in this shootout in Jaffa, the luckiest day in my life. The 13th of September, my wife's birthday.
That day, he hurriedly shipped the undeveloped film and wired the following message to New York, unaware that Life magazine would later betray him. Ergun raided Jaffa Ottoman Bank at 11:20 today, Friday. Firing echoed down street, but hard to locate, saw 3 Arabs hiding behind corner. Bank out of line their vision. I joined them. Saw Chevrolet set on green. Parked next to intersection 1 block right of target. 2 men in front seat, 1 in rear. Just as I saw them, gunmen wave me take cover, apparently thinking me a Jew. In cocky moment before opening fire, automatic weapon killing Arab to my right. Critically wounding Arab my left. Probably fatally wounding 3rd Arab slightly behind me. Ran halfway up the street toward car, dived into doorway. Made picture of car pulling through intersection. Gunner firing. To pick up other terrorists escaping from rear bank. Police moved and firing. Passing Arabs sprawled in street, others fell or crawled into doorways. 3 plainclothesmen at rounded corner. Covering 2 men hands in air. Cops also thought I was a Jew and camera my gun. Yelled. Firing again started near bank. Accompany police now arriving through movie house. Show today is to gun captain midnight. In bank found general manager James and net shot through left leg above knee. Very calm. Help carry. 2 ambulance picking up wounded and dead. 10 minutes for whole show. Trying to get this aboard. 1520 Cairo plane.
These were wild times in Palestine.
Zionist Jews were terrorizing Palestine to bring about their political aims by force. One of the terrorist leaders responsible for the King David Hotel bombing and much more was Menachem Begin, a Polish Jew, leader of the Irgun, a wanted man walking around Palestine in disguise, wreaking havoc. Duncan had the first interview with Begin barely 2 months after the Irgun bombed the King David Hotel, a week after Duncan nearly escaped death in the Jaffa bank heist. Irgun men blindfolded Duncan and led him to their blacked-out secret Tel Aviv headquarters. He made them a bold request.
When I come back again tomorrow night and make a map for me what you guys are dreaming about. And the next day, the girl picked me up, no blindfold, no regular car, to the door upstairs, Begin right in front of me. I said, yesterday, when I was with you, I made one request. I meet Bacon, you make a map for me of what you dream about in Israel. Here's the map. These are the hands of Medican Bacon. Perfect map except from the Mediterranean, Syria, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, down to Egypt, the Jordan River, Amman up just next to the river, the Jordan, the Dead Sea. We're amateur map makers. You know, we forgot the word Israel. There's no word on there. There's not a word on there, Israel. That's their dream of Israel. That was 1946, September.
Duncan shipped the film to New York, baffled by the unlabeled map. The Palestine Essay Life magazine was about to publish using his shots. It shocked him even more. But first, Bacon's dark plan was clear. They wanted to take land by force, reaching far beyond the borders of Palestine. Their violence didn't slow down, from blowing up trains to blowing up railway stations and bombing Palestine police stations, to kidnapping British servicemen, hanging them, attaching letters rejecting their parents' pleas for mercy to their bodies and booby-trapping them. Yet, Bacon still went on to become a prime minister of the Zionist state. In November 1946, Duncan received a copy of the Palestine Essay Life magazine published. He felt utterly betrayed and sent the following telegram to the editor Wilson Hicks. Just received a copy of Palestine Essay, stunned. How it can be offered as coverage of Palestine problem is beyond comprehension. You printed 18 pics, 11 Jewish, 4 Arab, 3 general, 11 paragraphs of text, 10 Jewish, 1 Arab. You lead with text from a partisan author. Label whole thing Palestine, then have the guts to sign my name to it. Where are the 1.5 million other people whose representatives I imposed upon in their shops, schools, clinics, at their dinner tables? And at whose side I was standing when members of other side turned their machine guns loose? Surely they deserve some voice. Until today, I have never shot a story which, when printed, made my return to that country impossible either because of omission or partiality. To me, that little bit of personal pride carried a value far beyond that which others might dream. And you have taken it from me. Congratulations. That's another exclusive. You still have an untouched story on Arab Palestine, just as newsworthy as when taken. So how about now showing their side of the issue and their country, unless something is printed to balance the gross omission? How in God's name can you ask me ever to shoot another story involving more than a single simple issue? Believe me when I say that I've been my happiest while doing these assignments for you, and I'm completely at home at life. But believe me, I'm also coolest I've ever been while fighting for something. I believe in when I say this Turkish story is my last for the magazine unless you balance your side of scales. Surely your every sense of intelligence and integrity would have been offended had I submitted such a lopsided set of negatives and told you, here's Palestine. I'm entitled to same respect and protection while you have privilege of signing my name while I am gone. Duncan almost dying during a Jewish terrorist bank heist, and only surviving because they thought he was Jewish, was left out of the publication. The excuse given by Hicks was, there was general agreement fullest advantage was not taken of some surprising facts, set forth in Arab pictures, and behind our regret for this was space problem, which held Arabs to cover picture into pages. It is not likely we can get balancing Arab story from material now at hand, but I can assure you, Life will print other Arab stories which might well include more of your pictures. We realize you did long and arduous job taking many pictures visiting both sides. Let me suggest that you may be reading things into the essay out of your greater knowledge, that not even most rigorous partisan might gather from it. Life magazine did, however, dedicate a 2-page spread in the same issue. 2 uncensored pictures of put to death, an obscene collage. The British even voted against publishing the pictures on moral grounds. After the clash between Duncan and Life's editor, his threat to resign, assurances for balanced handling of future assignments and in-person talks, Duncan decided to stay at Life magazine. The pictures Duncan took continued to make a deep impression on the world, especially his coverage of the 1950 Korean War. He captured the brutal reality on the ground with his intimate shots. In 1966, David Duncan gave an interview to David Susskind, a Jewish, American talk show host. In this interview, Duncan went through the stories behind the pictures, featured in his latest picture book. When he arrived at the Palestine shots, he remarked, "It's funny, it's not funny at all, actually, but I came out of World War II as a Marine, went into Palestine as a Marine, as a Life magazine photographer, and ran into more violence." He went on to describe the Zionist Jaffa bank heist shots. Somehow, this section of the interview in the New York Historic Films Archive is captioned as Duncan's photo of a Arab terrorist attack. Deceptions like these, and people like David Douglas Duncan, are the perfect examples of why it's crucial for real journalists like him to be let into any place at any time and be protected from being targeted for their work.
The Will-O-Real, David Douglas Duncan. Please stand up. Glad to have you with us, sir.